Welcome to this beginner's course in C Sharp. The chapters which you are going to learn in this module are Introduction to .NET Framework and .NET Core. Now, this is a very important topic. We'll be discussing in details about what .NET Framework is all about and how is it different from the new version of .NET Core. We'll also introduce you to one of the languages of .NET Framework or .NET Core, which is C Sharp, and very important language. Apart from other language which .NET Framework supports, C Sharp is one which was introduced with .NET Framework. We'll talk about the data types and arrays in C Sharp. We'll talk about the Visual Studio Community Edition and how to use Visual Studio. We'll also talk about the object-oriented programming, how to implement object-oriented programming with C Sharp. We'll then deal with exception and handling, errors. We'll talk about what garbage collection in C Sharp is. And of course, at the end, we'll talk about collections and generics. And we also believe in learning by doing. So this course would have a lot of demo codes, which you will be getting it, and you would be writing, of course, with each concept. So it will basically be more of a theoretical and a practical combinations, a lot of handle exercises, so that it helps you understand the concept clearly, because at the end of the day, you're writing a lot of codes. Of course, MCQs and quizzes to understand how much theoretically you are okay and how good you understand the code. Of course, we'll give you real life examples so you can relate. And of course, at the end, we'll have a demo project which will integrate all the concepts together. Okay, let me talk about myself. I'll be conducting this course for you, the beginner's version of C Sharp. And my name is Asif Iqbal Siddiqui. I have around 20 years of teaching C Sharp. In fact, the C Sharp was launched in 2002. And from then on, I have been teaching C Sharp, I have been teaching .NET, and I have been associated with .NET since then. Whom did I teach? I teach a lot of corporates. I teach people who are actually being hired from the colleges and make them industry ready. So they are ready to write softwares for their real-time softwares for the client. Individuals who want to learn, students who are in colleges, who have just come out of colleges and they want to learn individually, they want to have their assignments done, they're not understanding how to do those assignments, and they need guidance. So in all these cases, I'm there to help them with my experience. I'll just give you a small demo about how I'm going to teach and what I'm going to teach. So in this small demo, I'll be talking about the C# data types. Now, as you know, C# is a strongly typed language. Now, that means is that you cannot declare a variable in C# without giving its data type, right? And you have to give a data type. It's not like JavaScript or any other such languages where you can just declare a variable as var, and depending on the value initialized, it will pick up the type. It is like Java, where you have to define your variable type before you use it. And that is how it makes it strongly typed language. And of all the data types we have in C#, string is very important data type, which we'll be using string a lot. So I'll just give you a small understanding of what string data type is all about in C#. Now, a string is basically an object of a string class. And a string can be thought of as a collection of characters. So for me, I will be writing a string as hello, but internally, it can be represented as this, where each one of them is a character and represented by this class system.char. So a string object is actually nothing but a sequential collection of char objects, and that represents a string. Also, very important thing to be noted here is that the string is read-only string. It's immutable. You can't change the string. Once you have declared the string and initialized it with value, you cannot change it. And the maximum size of a string object which you can hold in memory is 2 GB, which is about 1 billion character. So how do we initialize a string, or how do I create a string. So first of all, we have to create a string class, a string variable, and then we can just give a string within a double quotes, and that's a string. That's one way we do it normally. The other way of initializing a string is by using our string constructor, by calling a string structure and passing the char array. So if you have a char array and you want to convert that into a string, you can of course do it by using this constructor of a string class. Of course, you can concatenate by using a concatenation operator to concatenate multiple string as a single string. You can also use a join function where you can join two string and have a character in between so that you can delimit it. Okay, so these are the few ways in which you can do string instantiation. There are a lot of properties of strings, a lot of them. I've just shown you a few here. As we come to our class and we'll go through the string, you'll learn more about it. Chars is one of them. For example, if you want to, get the char object, so you'll say console.writeLine str1. Now that get me the char property, get me the character of that particular. So it will return E because this is a zero index string. So the 0th index is H, the first index is E. So it'll get me the E part of the string. As I was telling you earlier, a string is nothing but an array of characters. Length. The length of a string will tell me how many characters, including the space, which the string holds, which is 11 here in this case. Apart from the properties, there are a lot of functions of a string. And one of the most important function of the string is substring, where you can have a string and you can retrieve a part of the string from that string. Which means if you look at this example, we have a string called hello world. And here inside this string hello world, we are saying substring 1, 2. Now substring 1, 2 means from the first position. So if 0 is H, 1 is E, 1, 2. So E and L. Pick up E and L and returns EL. Okay. So if I say 1, 2, then I'm starting from E and picking up two characters E and L. So EL. Similarly, if I say 0, 1, I'm starting from the 0th index and picking up one character, which is H itself. If I say 6 and doesn't give the next parameter, it means you start from the 6th position, which is the W, and go till the end of the string, which is world. If I say string length, which is 11 in this case, minus 3, then the starting point would be 11 minus 3 is 8. So I'll say 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it starts with R until the end, RLD. In this way, you can use the substring method to function to actually get a part of the string. I hope you understood this. And in this way, we would be learning a lot of other functions and properties and the way of using them practically with an example in our actual class when we will be getting in. So in this demo, we have just given you a brief idea as to how our classes would go on. Thank you for your time and have a very nice day. Thank you.